Hello, welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. Today I have a really quick video for you on Shadow.so, Shadow Dex. Now, this is a new take on the old VE33 model. It's a Dex on Sonic. So you can come here, you can trade tokens, you can provide liquidity, you can earn Shadow, you can vote, collect bribes, and so forth. Now, if you don't know anything about VE33, I'm going to suggest you to check out this playlist I have. There are a lot of videos inside here that explain to you what the VE33 original model was. So Andre's VE33 original model, and then I have a lot of videos in here about like Velocimeter, which is a VE33 Dex, as well as an attempt on mainnet that was blueprinted. You can't see it here, but it is here in the playlist. So I'm going to add this to that playlist as well because this is a new take on the VE33 model, and they have some changes. Now I don't have a flowchart for you. I'm just going to jump through the documentation and kind of explain things there. Rise is the next generation, high throughput based rollup. Rise Chain is ushering in the gigagas era with a parallel execution engine and a continuous pipeline. Find out more at riselabs.xyz. Okay, so here we are on the documentation. It's pretty good. It's pretty accessible. If you are new to VE33 Dexes, it might be a little bit hard to understand because there is some assumptions that you kind of understand, but I think it will cover enough that make you kind of understand what's going on. I have read through this in total or in all of it, and I would suggest you to read it as well and confirm some of the things I'm saying. Basically, I'm not going to explain to you what VE33 is. I'll kind of leave that for you to kind of look deeper. I'll just explain to you what they have done differently here. Okay, so the thing that they've done is they've changed the VE33 model, the vote escrow. There's this vote escrow model that Andre came up with where you lock tokens for some amount of time. His was 4 years. There's been, equalizers less than a year. Velocimeter is now down to 90 days lock. There's many different models now out there, but the point is you lock your tokens for a certain amount of time. They sit in an NFT. That NFT grants you voting power, and then you can vote on the pools and collect the fees from those pools. So today that's the general idea of what a VE33 Dex does, and sort of what you're kind of thinking about when you come here. But what they've changed here is they've kind of removed this vote escrow thing, sort of. Okay, so they've removed the NFT. You don't get an NFT anymore. There's no decaying voting power, and there's instant exitability. So in the past, you'd get a VE NFT. You could try to sell that VE NFT on the third-party markets in NFT marketplaces, or there's maybe sometimes you can OTC it inside the Discord with people or something like that. But what this thing does is it allows you to just rage quit, instant exit out of your position. And I'll kind of show it to you in the front end as well. Okay, so the first thing they did is they've converted VE into what they call here X Shadow. Okay. And as you can see, the voting power stays constant for this X Shadow, whereas the voting power decays on the VE NFT as it gets closer and closer to lock. But you can always relock and keep your voting power constant with those NFTs in the former system as well. All of the rebases go to people who have X Shadow that are staked. So if you come to the front end and you go to X Shadow and you go to stake, you have to actually stake some X Shadow. So right now I have just some dust here. You have to stake these, and then you're going to get the rebase. Now rebase is currently at 68%. So basically what this is every time they mint tokens to give to the liquidity providers, so people who provide liquidity, if you come over here, there are you see some X Shadows. So they will mint Shadow, convert it to X Shadow, and give it to the people providing liquidity here. Now, in order to people who have locked and who are voting, in order to protect them from this inflation, they also give some, they also mint some Shadow and give it to those people. So inside this system, you're pretty much going to always get X Shadow. There's no way to really earn Shadow tokens. You're always going to earn X Shadow, and then you can decide what you want to do with this X Shadow. So the first decision is to whether or not you want to stake it or not. So if you stake the X shadow, then you're going to be able to get those rebases. And then you're also going to be able to vote. So you would go to the front end, you would come to X shadow, you would go to vote, and you would choose like which one you want to vote on. Now the voting rewards can come in different manners. So as you can see here, this pool is has about $15,000 worth of both of these tokens, and those are the trading fees. Likely they could have been increased by the team, but they are, generally speaking, you're going to get the trading fees of this pair. So whenever this pair is highly volatile, it's going to create a lot of trading fees, and those trading fees are going to the voters who vote on this pool. And then as you can see, sometimes there are other tokens. So sometimes a protocol or a project like Google, maybe they didn't have a lot of trading fees, but they can add some tokens here to incentivize people to vote. So they're called bribes and trading fees. So you get rebases, you get fees and bribes, voting incentives, and then you can also direct the votes or the emissions to these pools. So when you vote on this pool here, then you will be giving it, the liquidity providers of this pool will get X shadow based on everyone's vote. So whatever percentage of the X shadow that's minted, whatever voting, they will get that. Okay, so I hope that makes sense and it kind of is clear now. So one of the key things here that they allow for is this early exit. So users can exit the X shadow. So if you unstake your X shadow and you come here to enter or exit, so obviously enter is like convert shadow. So you say you bought shadow or somehow you got some shadow and you can convert it to X shadow 1-to-1. Okay. Now, if you want to get out, you have two options here. You have vested exit, so you can put up, your X shadow here, click vest, and then it will vest for 180 days. Anytime in the middle there you want to kind of exit, then you will get less than 1-to-1. So right now, if I've put in, like, let's say I put in 0.3 and I vested it, if I waited the 180 days, I would get 0.3 shadow tokens, and then I could take those shadow tokens to the market and sell them. The other option is I can instant exit, so I could put 0.03 here, press this instant exit pay, and I will lose half of them. So half of my X shadow will be given to me, and the other half will be pro rata given to everyone who has staked X shadow. Okay. So if you're staked in here, you're actually getting three things. Okay, so you're getting votes, you're getting the power of votes, you're getting bribes and fees, you're getting rebates, and you're getting anybody who exits. Okay, so here exits. So you can see them all here: protocol fees, voting incentives, and penalties from exit. So anyone who wants to do that exit immediately will give half of their tokens to everybody who has staked X shadow. So those are the major difference here. There is one more thing. They have this liquid staking option, okay, which is right here. So you can take your X shadow, right, and you can you convert it. So mint this. You can see that it's not 1-to-1 anymore. So you can convert your X shadow into x33, and what this is it basically turns it into a automated compounding X shadow. So if you are bullish on this, but you don't want to come here every week and vote, because if you don't vote every week, you will not get your fees, right? So if you don't want to do this, if this is not something you want to maintain and watch and check every week, then you can consider converting your X shadow into x33. Now what x33 will do is all here. So let me go to the x33. Liquid staking. So these are the things that it's going to do. It's going to automatically vote. It's going to use an algorithm to decide which pools to vote on that have the best ROI, right? So it's going to do that automatically, right? It's going to then take those rewards, whatever they happen to be, use them to buy shadow from the market. So you're adding to shadow buybacks, right? And then it will stake it will convert that X shadow or that shadow into X shadow, right? and it will then auto compound everything, and that's what that is. It will claim the rebases for you and auto compound those. There's no fees for this x33, right, this liquid staking thing, so no fees for deposits, withdrawals, or compounding, so there's no fees there. Fully liquidity, trade freely on open markets, unlike staked X Shadow. So if you are staked, you won't be able to trade those. You'd have to exit or vest or convert to this, and then you can sell it. So if you go to here and you go to trade and you go x33, as you can see, there is a market here. So you can, sell these x33s. So let's say if I had 20 of them, and I could sell them for WS or USD or Shadow or whatever, I could sell them, sell these out. But as you can see, sometimes it's below market price because people will use this as a way to exit immediately. But as you can see, it's roughly about 50%, right? Which is the same as an early exit. So right now it's a little bit better. So arbitrage bots can kind of arb this and keep this at about maybe like 2-to-1 ratio, so to speak. Okay. So price protection. Cannot trade below X Shadow redemption values, so the instant exit. So it, like I said, like the arbitrage bots will keep it around that and so forth. X33 ratio always increases, so that just basically means that like Shadow to X33 ratio is always going up because of all the auto compounding. So there is a liquid staking versions for people who don't want to manage their positions, don't want to come every week and do the voting and so forth. There are some other cool things in here, some PvP rebase. No, what I wanted to show was in here, these fees. So down here, where is it? Voting incentives, fees. So they have a dynamic fee, so they're using this fee M to adjust the fees based on volatility. So as you can kind of go through this and kind of see different pools have different kinds of fee adjustments. But if there is a drastic spike in volatility, so a lot of trading on the pools, then the fees will increase and then they will come back down to a market. Okay, they have this the fee split model. So this is another thing that has happened on some other dexes, but not exactly like it's happening here. So if there is a gauge, then 100% of the fees go to bribing the voters, okay, and that's normal. But if there is no gauge, then 95% go to the liquidity providers and 5% goes to the protocol. So it's like it allows the protocol to make a little bit of money because you are using their protocol to do a liquidity the liquidity of your token. And this is usually for like meme coins and stuff like that. Meme coins will generally not want to gauge. They want all of their fees kind of compounded. But because you're using the Shadow DEX and they're kind of semi-promoting you because you're on their DEX, then I do believe they deserve a small amount of fees for that. And then the last thing is this fee share model. If you use a specific launch pad for your token and they deem it to be safe, then they can you can set your fee share to split. So if you are a meme coin and you did launch on like a specific whitelisted meme coin launcher, then you can reach out to them and you can get this fee share where up to 20% of your fees go to a specific contract. So instead of this where you see 95.5, so instead of this 95.5 or instead of this 100 to X Shadow because you have a gauge, then they will send 20% of this to a specific contract that you decide what that thing does. Like maybe that contract will then give half of that to the owner and half of it to all the token holders or to the community or whatever that contract wants to do, it can do it. So they have this fee share thing where they're willing to give up 20% of the fees and send it to a specific contract that specific coin wants to do. Now I think that's pretty much it. I think there's some pretty cool ideas here. That I'm like take I should say that I am kind of farming this already. Not significantly. I'm not, super deep in it, but I do have a little bit of stake in this, just because I am farming it like as an anonymous user, so to speak. So come and check it out if it's interesting to you. As always, I would suggest you read the docs, join their Discord, Telegram, that sort of thing. Ask more questions. Make sure if it's interesting to you. I think there are some pretty cool ideas here, and I do like it, and I hope that they have some success here on Sonic. Thank you, and goodbye.